Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to another AutoAudiography. This is actually my 10th AutoAudiography, but I'm putting it on my 9th week. So, yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I actually filmed another AutoAudiography earlier this week that I was going to post up today, but my AutoAudiography counterpart, Brandon, did his on an album from a band that I planned on doing in the next couple weeks. So it got me thinking all day long that I wanted to do this album instead of the one I actually filmed earlier this week. And we're going to be talking about, or you're going to be hearing me talk about, the album Wildlife by the band La Dispute. Okay, so La Dispute, actually a band from Michigan. I always want to say local, but they're about 3 hours away from me. They're from Grand Rapids, which is on the west side of the state, and I'm in the east side of the state, so not so local. But they're from Michigan, so there's a special place in my heart for them. Now, La Dispute, this is actually their sophomore album. Brandon did his review on their debut album, and which is a great album as well. I don't have it on vinyl. I'd been debating almost all day which album of theirs I was going to do today. It was either going to be Wildlife Here, which I am going to end up be doing, or Rooms of the House, which was their latest album, which is fantastic. I actually might end up doing a whole nother AutoAudiography on that album later on, because it's just so damn good. But today, Wildlife, the first album of theirs I actually picked up. When did this come out? I want to say 2004 is when I got into it. There's no date on here. Well, let me show you the record. Okay, so here we go. Gatefold. For those of you who saw Brandon's video, he was showing the albums, and it was a double album, and on the fourth side of the album there was an etching in there that you couldn't really see in the video. You see it right here. This is what that etching looks like, I think, if I'm correct. So this is the inside. Back. The actual albums themselves are just black with numbers on them. 1 for the sides, 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. It's a double album as well. And then it has, a little No Sleep Records flyer, and the booklet with all the lyrics and everything. Really good. Nice packaging. Now, I forget where I was going before I started talking about the actual record itself. I was going to look on the records to see if there was a date on there. But I know on my other channel, my other YouTube channel, I did a cover of Such Small Hands off their first record. It was a while ago. And nobody watched it, and nobody liked it. So yeah, there's that. No date. I should have done a little more research. I don't think it was 2004. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was much later than that. Actually, the video I did of Such Small Hands was 4 years ago, so 2012. Wildlife Law Dispute I got into at a time in my life when I was looking for something different in music, something more substantial. So what I did was I would go to record stores and buy CDs. Not record stores, more like Best Buy, FYE, occasionally Hot Topic when I could stand going in there. But one thing I want to say was FYE that they did was they had a separate section for, it was like a hometown heroes type section. So bands from Michigan. And I'd go there, especially when I was feeling really meh about music, and I just look at the covers. This has been a habit of mine since 8th grade. I would go to Harmony House and buy CDs just based on the cover art. So, like I said, at FYE, go through the Hometown Heroes section and saw this cover. Now, on the CD, I think it's a sticker on the jewel case, and it was also a sticker on the like poly bag of the record. It says Law Dispute right here in white, and then all around here there's just this like white painted design that was just kind of nonsensical. And I saw that and I was like, what in the fuck, you know? And then I turn it over and I'm still kind of confused by it. And you go and like read the titles of songs. We have A Departure, Harder Harmonies, St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church Blues, Edit Your Hometown, A Letter, Safer in the Forest / Love Song for Poor Michigan, The Most Beautiful Bitter Fruit, A Poem, King Park, Edward Bends 27 Times, I See Everything, A Broken Jar, All Our Bruised Bodies, and The Whole Heart Shrinks, You and I in Unison. That's the name of the titles. So I was just like, I intrigued, I guess. So pick it up, throw it in the car, listen to it, and it is completely different from anything I've ever heard before. Starting off with the music, it is harder music. So it's people, if you watch Brandon's video, people like to categorize Law Dispute as post-hardcore. I don't know what the fuck that means. They're just a different kind of band. They defy categorization. The music they have is intricate while being abstract. You have these parts that are just insanely heavy, mixed with the next song being acoustic or finger picking on the guitar. Just beautiful melodies. And then you have the bass and drum grooves that are just insane. And the lyrics and the singing, or if you want to call it singing, more spoken word and sometimes screamed. It just defies what we know as regular songs. Now, the singer-songwriter, Jordan, man, I can never forget his, Jordan Dreyer, he didn't start out writing songs. I'm going to repeat what Brandon said, really. Didn't start writing songs. He started out writing poetry and short stories. That comes into play a lot in the lyric writing because you get immersed in the stories that he is singing to you. And that was something that just took me away from music. You forget about rhyme schemes. You forget about song structure. There's no verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, anything like that in these songs. It's just stories from beginning to end, sometimes beginning to middle, and that's it. It's just, there's so much passion and emotion and like story weaving that goes into these songs. They're just incredible. Now, another thing that this record reminds me of is the first Motor City Comic-Con convention, where it was me, the Dark Nate, the Incredible CJ, and Johnny DaCosta. We were all together and we played this record the entire weekend. I think I ended up getting the Incredible CJ into this record pretty hardcore. He got into it just from that weekend because it's just so damn good. Everybody loved it. So this album, in my opinion, has the greatest run of 3 songs together ever. It is on their songs number 9, 10, and 11, starting with King Park. Now, King Park is a song about pretty much a gang war and a drive-by shooting where an innocent child gets shot. But the story is taken from the perspective of just a person standing by, wishing they could know what was going on with the whole situation, going back in time to see what happened, and then becoming a ghost to see how the police catch the shooter, what happens. And then this is one of those songs where it stops in the middle and you don't find out exactly what happens at the end. It's fantastic, and quite possibly, I know it's the longest song on the album. It's nearly... Okay, so the phone ran out of memory once again. I really need to figure out a way to fix that. I know there's an easy way to do it, just delete shit off the card, but it gets difficult to delete like your son's pictures off your phone. You know what I mean? I have a ton of them on there, but I guess I could just move them over onto the computer and free up some space. But anyway, during my little break, I started working on the thumbnail for my video that I'm going to put up, and I saw the cover for the album with the white squigglies that I was talking about, and realized the white squigglies is actually the title of the album, Wildlife. I just hadn't seen that in since the day I bought the CD and the album, because like I said, it's stuck to the plastic around the CD and the plastic around the album. So I apologize for calling it whatever I called it. It's actually the title of the album, just written in a way in which it doesn't automatically read Wildlife. So, getting back to what I was talking about, 7-minute song, King Park, fantastic. when you listen to it, it doesn't play like it's a 7-minute song, just because, as I've said before, you're so engrossed in the story that everything around you falls away, including time. But no, it's just so enveloping that you're just there, and you are this person trying to figure out what's going on and why there was this shooting, and just you're just in the moment. The next song following King Park is actually Edward Ben's 27 Times. This song, also a very gripping and emotional subject, about a father who is trying to replace a door on his son's house, where he was attacked by his son with a knife, because his son is schizophrenic, and just like the family turmoil that occurs in the life of someone who is taking care of their child who has this problem. This song is also taken from a different perspective, as the singer is the employee at a hardware store who has been asked to come over and replace the door for the father. These songs hit at a point in the record where you're so emotionally raw that it just tears you apart. And to follow that song up, the song I See Everything, right? Yeah, I See Everything. I know that one because it's quite possibly my favorite one, but quite possibly also the most gut-wrenching. This song, every time I hear it, I cannot help but cry. This is something Brandon and I have in common with this band. This song, again, taken from a different perspective from what the song is actually about, is taken from the perspective of a kid who is perpetually late to English class in high school, gets to class while his teacher is... Now, it's been a while since I looked at the lyrics. I can't remember if it's the teacher talking about the situation or if the teacher has a speaker who's talking about the situation. But the person talking has passed out packets of diary entries. And these diary entries have to do with this person and their life dealing with a child who has cancer. And the lyrics go it's 1980, March 5, and then goes into what happens that day. And throughout the song, the dates change and go further along in time. Talking about how the child is so strong, even though, he's dealing with this disease. The treatments seem to be working for a time, and then at the end of the song, the child ends up succumbing to the disease, and at that point, I lose it. I'm about to tear up right now just talking about it, but I will hold back because I'm talking about the album. So, now, Brandon and I have talked about this album already before I started doing this, because I told him he kind of ruined my plans for my week 9 AutoAudiography. but he too loves this album. He actually said he didn't know whether he was going to do the album he did or this one. And actually, his favorite song off this album, I'm going to spoil it, when he said he wants to do his own autoaudiography on this record, but he said that his favorite song is the next song, which is A Broken Jar, which actually is the slowest and shortest song on the album. Very good, very just talking about one's own personal state of mind and things. I'll let him explain it a little bit better when he does his. But this album, I can't really say anything more about it. I've rambled on for close to 20 minutes, I'm thinking now. But it's just so fantastic and so different, and just something that I think everyone would find a piece of this album and enjoy it. I think this album has something for everybody. Now, granted, if you're not a fan of screaming, there are parts that, like my wife, she hates screaming. She doesn't like that kind of music. She can't take a whole lot of this album. Just because Jordan has these places in this album where it seems like his emotions just get the better of him, and he can't help but scream the lyrics that he's written, and it just, you feel like you're part of it, and you feel like you're there in the studio with him, watching him slightly break down. The way this album was recorded makes you feel like you're in the room while they're recording it. And that's a fantastic feeling. All too often, there's albums that come out that feel like they were just shit out. You know what I mean? The write a song, verse, chorus, verse, here you go. Verse, chorus, verse, done. This is not like that, and it feels so organic and so alive. And every time I listen to this album, I can't stop. I have to keep it on repeat for like days on end. It's just so fucking good. It really is. So if this video or any of my other autoaudiography videos have done anything for you to think you might want to listen to an album, please do yourself a favor and listen to this one in particular. Give it a chance. Listen to it from start to finish. If you can, grab the lyrics and read along because it'll help you. But you can still understand the words listening to it without reading along. It's just that good. So please, listen to it, give it a shot, and I'll see you later.